Today, we're heading to the island of Madagascar, where a really tense political crisis is developing and fast. What kicked off as some youth-led protests has just exploded into a major confrontation between the country's government and its military. So let's break down what's happening. Okay, let's just start with this. This is an absolutely explosive accusation coming directly from the nation's leader, President Andre Rajalina. He is telling the entire world that he believes a coup is happening right now. This one quote just sets the stage for a massive, high-stakes showdown. So what's at the very heart of this alleged power grab? Well, it's a direct face-off. You've got the president's government on one side and a really important part of the military on the other. So on one hand, the president is flat out saying an elite military unit is trying to illegally overthrow him. And on the other, that same elite unit, known as CAPSAT, just announced it's taking command of the entire army. I mean, that is a direct public challenge to the government's authority. And this is where the story gets a wild twist of irony. See, the CAPSAT unit, they aren't just any soldiers. They are the exact same elite force that helped bring this very president, Rajalina, to power in his own coup back in 2009. It's just a stark reminder that in politics, especially here, the people who make you can just as easily break you. But of course, the military tells a completely different story. Their new chief, General Pikulis, who leads this CAPSAT unit, isn't using words like coup or power grab. No, he's framing this whole thing as their duty, their responsibility to restore order. So you've got these two totally conflicting narratives clashing. Is it a coup or is it restoring peace? But here's the thing. This military move didn't just happen in a vacuum. It was the boiling point after weeks of growing protests on the streets. So let's rewind a little bit and look at how things got out of control so quickly. Just look at how fast this all went down. It all starts on September 25th with young people in the streets angry about basic stuff, water and electricity shortages. Just 4 days later, the president responds by firing his entire government. But that didn't calm things down. The protests got bigger, and by the middle of October, the military had actually joined the protesters. And you can see right here how the mission changed. It started with, hey, we need the lights to stay on, but it quickly snowballed into demands to end corruption, and then finally for the resignation of pretty much the entire government and judiciary. This is way beyond a simple protest. It's a call for a complete overhaul of the whole system. Okay, this is getting complicated, right? So to really get what's going on, it helps to break it down into the three main groups caught in the middle of this storm. Each one has their own reasons for doing what they're doing. All right, so you've got President Rajalina, who's crying coup, but also saying he's open to talks. Then you have the leaderless Gen Z protesters, who don't just want a new leader, they want a whole new system. And then, maybe the most important player, the CAPSAT military unit. They made a huge decision. They refused orders to shoot at citizens, and instead, they joined them. But it's not like it's a perfect alliance. This is really important. Some of the original young activists are actually pretty nervous about the military getting involved. They're calling it dangerous. Because, they're worried they might just be trading one powerful boss for another. And that suspicion of power, that really gets to the core of the problem here. You have to ask, why did a protest about utilities just catch fire and spread so fast? To get that, we need to zoom out and look at the deep-seated issues that have been simmering in Madagascar for years. Think about this number for a second. $545. That's the GDP per capita. That's less than $2 a day. That isn't just a number on a chart. It's the daily reality for millions of people in one of the poorest countries on the planet. That kind of struggle creates a constant underlying tension. And right alongside that extreme poverty, you have this. Madagascar ranks 140th out of 180 countries when it comes to corruption. So you've got a widespread feeling that the system is rigged, that money is being stolen instead of being used to help people. That just breeds this massive distrust in everyone in charge. So it's pretty clear, right? When you mix that level of poverty with that level of corruption, you create this fertile ground for frustration. The protest over water and electricity wasn't really just about utilities. It was the spark that finally lit years and years of pent-up anger on fire. And that brings us right back to this moment. With all these forces, the president, the military, the protesters, all pushing and pulling, the entire nation is standing at a really critical and, honestly, a totally unpredictable crossroads. As we speak, the capital city is basically in a three-way standoff. Nobody is really in control. You've got the government trying to hold on, the military in the streets making its own moves, and the protesters demanding a future that isn't even defined yet. The whole country is just holding its breath. So that leaves us with the big final question. What are we actually watching unfold here? Is this a textbook military coup? Is it the beginning of a genuine popular revolution? Or could it be something else entirely, something we haven't seen before? Right now, the only thing that seems certain is that the future of Madagascar is being decided as we speak.